Hey guys, my name is Dice Rollin, and today I'm going to be putting myself in danger by talking about some of my unpopular horror opinions. So essentially, if you're easily offended or highly defensive about the horror movies that you like, you might want to step out for a minute. But we don't have to agree on any of these. You can tell me why you disagree with any of my opinions as long as you're chill about it. I was inspired by Spooky Astronauts, Nightmare Maven, and Possessed by Horror's own videos on this subject. And since we all have varying and similar opinions, why not? So without further ado, these are my unpopular horror opinions. Let's start with one that's really gonna piss a lot of people off, shall we? Halloween is not the greatest horror franchise ever. Put your pitchforks down! Now don't misunderstand me here. I have a lot of respect for the franchise, and all of whom were involved in the creation of it. It's done a lot for the slasher subgenre and low-budget films in general, but I really feel like people amp it up way too much. Not to mention that just like in any other fandom, there is a hell of a lot of toxicity in the Halloween fanbase. It's okay to like horror films from a bad director. Now when I say a bad director, I mean someone who has committed prison-worthy acts. Polanski, Salva, etc. Something I have learned to do is try to separate the creator from the creation. I totally understand if you just aren't able to do that. You're not able to enjoy the movie because of some asshole who was involved. I also respect not wanting to support said person by watching their shit. At the same time, I'm someone who will watch a horror movie in research-like fashion, and to judge it in as non-biased a way as possible. So yes, I have watched Jeepers Creepers 1 and 2 and Rosemary's Baby and liked them. They're not my favorite, but I still liked them. That does not in any way lessen what a shit person each of the respective directors were, or are. There is no such thing as a real horror fan. What I mean by that is that you do not need to meet a certain list of requirements to consider yourself to be a horror fan. You don't need to have seen certain horror movies. You don't need to have watched really gory or extreme horror films. You don't need to worship the big franchises, etc., etc. Do you like horror? Great, you're a horror fan. Congratulations. The Haunting 1963 is a touch overrated. It's a decent haunted house and psychological film, but I've heard so many times that it is a must-see for every horror fan. It's so important for horror history, and I'm not gonna say it is or is not. I'm just saying it wasn't the edge-of-your-seat, tension-filled, shocking piece that everyone was claiming it was. For those who remember, the Rocky Horror Picture Show Let's Do the Time Warp Again TV special thing was not bad. As a matter of fact, I would go so far as to say it was good. Not as great as the original Rocky Horror, but good. I rather enjoyed watching it initially and have rewatched it several times since. There are certain things that were watered down or left out because it was a made-for-TV thing. On regular television, of course. I think a reason why a number of people don't like it is because they're taking it as a remake. And I really don't see it as such. I see it as more of a loving homage to the original that was made by a bunch of fans, and Laverne Cox got Tim Curry's blessing and did a wonderful job, so leave her alone. On a side note, I have been told a couple of times that this version of Riff Raff is one that people can see me portraying. Every horror movie has some bit of merit. Yes, even the really stupid ones. Something that I always have in the back of my head whenever I'm watching any horror movie is that if I'm entertained by it, then it has some value. Even if I don't enjoy a horror film, if someone else does, even just one person, it still has value. I do realize that there are some truly disgusting and definitely not PC horror films out there, but I still apply this to them too. A movie has purpose when those involved give it purpose. A movie has purpose when a viewer gives it purpose, even if those involved were just fucking around with it. American Horror Story should probably end now. I've seen news about the newest season that will be coming out, so I know about that. I can't say I'm a big fan of AHS, but I have enjoyed what I have seen thus far. I just don't want every popular horror-based TV show to become another Walking Dead or Supernatural, if you catch my drift. I really appreciate the themed seasons and the reuse of the same actors, but let's calm down, shall we? A lot of horror movies that people claim as the scariest ever are, in fact, not. Let's keep in mind that I am apparently quite hard to scare. I have been disturbed and unsettled by some horror movies and series, but it's very rare for one to scare me. That's not to say that just because I don't think that a movie is scary. It isn't for you or someone else. It just seems that whenever I see a movie that people are saying is the scariest movie of... It's not. It's really not. Okay, I think that's enough ammunition for everybody for one day, so let's just stop right there. I can hear the mob and see the torches from here. Those were my own personal opinions that I took note of, and it's possible that I'll think of more later on. So let me know if you guys would like to hear more of my quote-unquote unpopular horror opinions, and I'll work on that. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like to let me know, and don't forget to leave a comment down below telling me your own unpopular horror opinions. You can support the channel through my Patreon in the description below, where you can get early and even exclusive access to videos like this. Also, don't forget to share this video to help the channel grow, and subscribe for more videos, perhaps like this. See you later.